Hello folks, here's Crafty Carol with week 2 of the Christmas countdown. The weeks are shooting by. I'm really glad I didn't decide to do one every day. Anyway, this week I thought I'd use a set which is in the main catalogue. This isn't from the mini catalogue, this is actually a set from last year, but it's in the current catalogue as well, current main catalogue, called Perfectly Played, and it comes with a matching punch. So it's got these gorgeous trees of all different sorts, and obviously you can put put them over each other and get different effects. But these two, this sort of, I don't know, just ordinary tree at the top there, and this one are the distinctive stamps. They look as though they've got depth as you stamp them. So I thought I'd use this set. Last year, well, it's got some lovely sentiments as well. I like this Merry Christmas. You've got ho, ho, ho. You can add the tree trunk if you want on the ones that haven't got a trunk. There's a little pine cone stamp. I haven't actually used that, but anyway. Then there's various different sentiments. May this special season be wrapped in love and joy, hoping that your busy year comes together in Christmas cheer, North Pole delivery, whatever. I actually used these two sentiments on tags last year, because I thought they were really good for tags. You've got all these different pine cones too. I haven't used those, but oh, dirt on there. But I did use it last year to make a few cards, and I do have some left. And last year I used a paper called, I think it was called Wrapped in Plaid or something like that, wrapped in something. Anyway, and I decided to do these cards, which I used the gold foil for the outside, a layer of DSP, a white, visible white for the basic sentiment, stamped the tree, punched it out and just stuck a sentiment on top. And then I just put a sort of band of gold across the front. So I was having a look at these. I still got, I think it's 4 left from last year. So these are the ones I did. So there's the sort of dark play, and it was because the paper matched, because the paper was sort of tartan. So I thought I'd use the tartan tree, and I did that in shaded spruce as the colour. I quite liked them. Looking back, I don't know, I don't like them as much this year. I think my tastes have moved on a bit, but I did do those, and I thought, well, actually, I could do something this year with some of the new stuff, because there is the most gorgeous set of papers, which is here. I see I've already opened it, and it's called Tidings of Christmas, again in the main catalogue, and it's just the most beautiful paper. There's, again, it's all double-sided as the paper often is. It's a huge, great, thick, look at them. There's so many papers in there. So you've got these beautiful patterns. There's a reverse on each one. There's this one with that reverse. Where's the next one? The red with the green stripe reverse. Then you've got a sort of more open pine cone branch with the lovely Sahara sand desert. Dessert? What am I talking about? Honestly, can't speak. Reverse. And then there's this sort of bare pine trees, really, somehow, again with the reverse, and then a final one. So there's loads of different papers in there. They're absolutely gorgeous. But I really fell in love with the papers, and I decided to team them up with the product from because I think quite a lot of people did buy this. This is the Bedazzling paper from the celebration that's just finished. So if you do have this, you can use it. If you don't, obviously you can still use the gold foil paper, or gold, you could actually use the shimmer gold paper as well, or whatever, just needs to be gold. So I played around with the same design from last year and came up with these. So I've added this year an extra border around the centre. I think it looks better. And I was still going to think about putting the strip across, but I don't know about you, I think that's too much now. So I'm not putting the strip on this year. I think it looks nice just with the extra border around there. If you wanted to make it even more exciting, you can use a die to cut this, which would give you more interest than just a simple cut. But with Christmas cards, we all have to make so many. If you're anything like me, I probably send about 80 Christmas cards a year. That's a lot to make, because I do make all mine. So I need them to be pretty simple. So this is the one we're going to do today, and I've done it in different papers so you can see that it's different with the different effects. So these are all from the Tidings of Christmas paper. So I've used the Bedazzling Gold for the outside. I've used a layer of DSP, another layer of Dazzling Gold, and then the final layer of Whisper White with the sentiment, and then raised the tree up on dimensionals. I'm still umming and ahhing whether it needs any more bling. I could potentially use the lovely brushed metallic adhesive back dots from the mini catalogue that we've got. They're just gorgeous. I might use some of those on there. It depends really if you're going to post them, because obviously you don't want to add too much depth, and there is already a little bit of depth with these. So that's the card we're going to make today. It's really simple. But I wanted to use this glorious Bedazzling paper, which hopefully even on the video, which doesn't always show bling terribly well, it really is dazzling. It's unbelievably sparkly. It's beautiful. So let us get on. What you will need to make this card is your usual base card, which is your half A4 folded in half. So your usual base card. Then you'll need the gold dazzle layer, which is 14.3 centimetres by 10 centimetres. And what I suggest you do, if you don't want to waste loads, if you've got loads, brilliant. If you ordered a lot of Celebration, but if you did want to save it, you can actually cut out the middle layer of gold dazzle. So this is just being cut out of there. So all I do is mark it on the back with a pencil, and you could, there is on our trimmers there is the measure, so you can measure down how far you're going. So main piece of gold dazzle 14.3 by 10. The piece you want from the middle to cut out is 7 by 10.5. So that won't waste your bedazzling paper. So you could even cut out some of the middle of that if you really wanted to, but that might be going too far. So that's your first layer. I'm going to stick that on. You then need a layer of DSP. I'll stick it on as I talk, and then we can talk about the other sizes as I go through. So this is the gold dazzle layer. So I'm going to stick it on with glue. When you're sticking on top of this gold dazzly stuff, it's probably best to use tape. The glue, I think, might take a little bit of time. I think it'll be all right. I think it'll hold, but you might want to just use tape. So we'll see. I'm going to just use the glue just for speed now, because if I try and use tape, I won't put anything on straight. This gives me a bit of wiggle room, so if I do get it not very straight, I can move it round. So that's not particularly straight now. There you go. That's not too bad. So I'm going to stick my gold frame on first. Then I'm going to get my bit of DSP, and this DSP is 13.8 lengthwise, 13.8 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres. All these measurements are on my blog with the full instructions. So if you've forgotten them or whatever, just go to my website, www.craftycarolscards.co.uk, and go to the Craft Along blog, and you will see all the instructions. So this is the Christmas Countdown week 2, so you'll know where to find them. Then I'm going to stick this. Now this will stick, it doesn't stick very well to the bedazzling paper just with glue, but it obviously will stick in the gap in the middle quite happily. So I'm just going to hold it down for a second. As I say, tape might be better if you're sticking directly to the bedazzling. That's that layer. And then I'm going to put this bit together. So the sentiment I've used is just the Merry Christmas, and I'm going to stamp it in Evening Evergreen. Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent, two of the current in colours, are the ones that match this set of paper beautifully. So I am going to use Evening Evergreen for my sentiment. So I'm just going to stamp that on the bottom of my smaller piece of white. Now this piece is 9.5 by 6 centimetres. So it's just a scrap of white, 9.5 by 6. Look at that, me getting ink all over my my block, but luckily it'll stamp beautifully anyway, so I can just wipe it off the block before I get it all over my fingers. That might be a good idea. Very messy craft on me. Now I could stamp the tree in Evening Evergreen, or I could use a Soft Succulent. And when I used this card last time, I actually used the the Soft Succulent for the tree, and so I already stamped it, and I couldn't decide which to use, so I stamped it in Soft Succulent and an Evening Evergreen so that I can decide which one I want to actually use today. I really should have got that a bit more centered, but never mind. So I think I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen this time. So get the punch. It's a wonderful matching punch. And of course I've left myself a tiny bit of paper, so I'll have to fiddle around to get this in. The beauty. Just use my pokey tool just to slide it down. Don't ever use little tiny scraps of paper if you can get away with it, because they are awkward to get into your punch. So I'm just being really silly using just the tiniest scrap of paper like this, but I can use a pokey tool or anything just to help line it up a bit. There we go. So once I've lined it up, I can just punch. There we go. Nearly punched out the other one on the back, so I could I could think about it, but I think I'm going to just go with the Evening Evergreen with this one, just to be different. So then all I need to do is I need to stick this layer, the white layer, onto my smaller piece of Bedazzling Gold, or your gold foil, or your gold shimmer, or whatever else you want to use. There's some lovely metallic papers too. I'm going to use those another week. Beautiful set of glorious metallic sort of silvers and purples and things. Oh, they're just gorgeous. And we shall use those another time. So again, I'm just going to hold that for a second or two just to make sure it sticks down, because maybe should use tape, to be honest, sticking to something like this sort of paper. But there we go. That's stuck enough. You can see on the back of here where I've made some marks to cut, and then actually just follow my trimmer rather than my pencil marks. So that can go in the middle of here. Again, try and get it pretty straight. Not brilliant at that when I'm working with this video thing, but there we go. Put it together, and then all we need are a couple of little dimensionals. I'm up to the edge bits of this current set of dimensionals. Again, I use every bit. Don't get rid of it there. And I can just put that somewhere just in the middle there. And again, I've got to decide whether I want to add any more bling or not, or just leave it like that. So I don't know which was better, Soft Succulent or Evening Evergreen for that particular one. I don't know. What do you think? Really not sure about that. You can make your own decision. But that's today's card for week 2. Hope you enjoyed it, and that you'll join me next Friday for week 3 in my Christmas countdown. If you'd like to buy any of these things, or you want to know about any of the products, please do ask, and I will very happily send you out catalogues, or you can buy from me through my online shop. All the details on the website. Bye for now.